In this video, we're going to take an introductory tour of the Design Lab. Starting at your home page, you'll see three options of how to begin designing. Start blank, upload your image, or use a pattern from the patterndesigns.com library. For this tour, we're simply going to start blank. Once you're in the Design Lab, you'll see that the screen in front of you is a network of different tiles. On the top bar of the Design Lab, you'll see the tile size. The tile size refers to the size of each square in the Design Lab. Currently, the tile is set to 8 by 8 inches. You can change this up here by either using these arrow keys or typing in a new width and height. You can also change the units from inches to pixels. Now, let's start adding elements. Over here on the far right bar of the Design Lab, you'll see different options to add elements to your design. If you want to add an image, simply click the images icon. Here, you'll see the specifications for the image that you can upload. So let's talk about that for a second. When you upload an image, you need to have a certain quality and a certain size and a certain file type for your image. What we recommend is that your image has a quality of 150 dpi. The maximum file size is 120 inches by 120 inches. If you try to upload a file that's larger than 2 meters, it won't fit in the Design Lab and it will end up being cropped. The formats that we recommend for your images are both JPEG and PNG, so keep those things in mind when saving, creating, or uploading images into the Design Lab. If your image isn't showing up the way that you want it to within the lab, double check the format that you've saved your image in. Readjust it so that it has these qualities and try again. So let's go ahead and upload an image. I'm going to add an image that I already have saved onto my desktop. Now you'll see that the image I just uploaded is not the same size as my tile size. This is really important to differentiate. Your tile size refers to the size of each square in your Design Lab. The tile is what will be repeated to make a pattern. You could have multiple images and shapes existing within one tile, and this is going to repeat to create your pattern. If you upload an image that doesn't fit your tile, you can either readjust the tile size by clicking Fit to Image on the top bar of the Design Lab, or you can adjust the size of the image by clicking Fit to Tile on the image toggle in the Design Lab. This is what appears when you upload a feature to the Design Lab, whether that be an image or a shape. We're going to adjust the image, so I'm going to click Fit to Tile. When this happens, you'll notice that the image becomes larger in order to fit the tile. Unfortunately, an error has occurred. The quality of my image isn't high enough. As I said, we recommend 150 dpi. In order to solve this, I can either edit my image and re-upload it, or I can adjust my tile size, make it a little bit smaller, click Fit to Tile again, and you'll see that now the image quality is fine. In the top right corner of the Design Lab, on that top bar, you'll see 4 different icons. These change what you see in the Design Lab. For example, you'll see that right now we have a blurred background for all tiles that we're not currently working on. The only tile that has a clear background is this center one. In order to change this, simply click the far right icon. It causes all of the tiles to appear clear and crisp so you know exactly what you're working with. The icon beside it gets rid of the grids. Sometimes the lines can be distracting, so to get rid of them, simply click that icon. The next icon turns on and off the ruler. The ruler can be really helpful so you know exactly what size pattern you're creating. However, again, sometimes it can be in the way, so simply click it on by touching that icon. If we want to add more than just a single image to our design, we can go over here and either add more images or we can add shapes. Let's add a shape and see what happens. When I clicked on rectangle, a pre-designed rectangle appears in the lab. I don't have to stick with this rectangle. I can change it to have whatever specs I desire. Change the features of your rectangle by going over to this box here and changing the width, the height. You can rotate it, you can change the color, you can drag it to change the size, to change the orientation, and you can essentially turn these shapes into whatever you desire. I'm going to change the color of the shape, the orientation, and the size. Now you'll see you can no longer see my image as it's covered by the rectangle that I've inserted. In order to fix this, you can readjust the order of the elements that you've added. Simply click and drag the boxes in the top left corner of the design lab to readjust the order that they're appearing. The elements further to the left appear on the bottom of the pile. The more elements you have added, the more that they'll stack. If I wanted to insert another shape, it would be inserted on top of my image. To change this, simply click and drag that box so that it's now appearing behind your image. Or click it again and drag it over again to have it appear behind the other shape. To preview the pattern that you've created, click the preview button in the top right corner. This is the pattern that I've created with the elements that I've put into the lab, my image and the two shapes. Here, you can look at all the different fabric options. Some of the fabrics come in different sizes, so it's important to see what your pattern will look like on your given fabric. There's a brief description of each fabric underneath the image as well. Other buttons in the Design Lab include a login button, so you can log into your account, a join button, so you can sign up for a new account, a shopping cart, so that you can see what you've already designed and placed to order within your cart. There's magnifying buttons, so you can zoom in or zoom out, depending on the view that you prefer. There's a help button, which takes you to our blog that has a bunch of helpful tips about the Design Lab. There's a layers button so that you can see all of the different elements that you've added. There's a new button in case you want to start from scratch and get rid of your pattern. And there's save. So this means that the pattern that you've created is now going to be saved to your profile. You won't have to design it again. You can simply go into your saved patterns and order it right from there. And last but not least is the order button. Click this when you're satisfied with your pattern and you want to go straight to ordering it. From here, you decide what fabric you want. It shows you what size the fabric comes in, and you can decide on how many meters you want. Those are the basics. If there's anything else that you would like to know about the Design Lab, please let us know, and we would be happy to make another tutorial video. Have fun and get creative.